Welcome back to the Double Feature, the series where I play two random games in a single video. This episode is not going to be all that random because the two games that I'm going to be showcasing in this video are actually somewhat related to each other. And this is more or less a sequel to a previous Double Feature video that I did back in March. I mean, this is a sequel to that video in the sense that I'm once again covering two games that technically take place in the same environment, but with a wildly different tone. Yes, in case you haven't already realized, it's time once again to cover some more games from Connor Sherlock. That's right, I'm not done covering all of the games from the Walking Sim a Month Club Volume 1 bundle just yet. Although I am gonna be honest with you, there aren't that many more games that I would like to cover from this bundle, because I already decided quite some time ago that I wasn't going to be covering every single game in the bundle, whether it be due to me just not being interested in the games themselves, or the games running like absolute ass. At least for me anyway, because you have to remember that I am playing these games on some fairly old technology at this point. So yeah, we're gonna be knocking out two birds with one stone again. The games that we're gonna be covering this time are Hinterlands and Sunken Citadel, but I'm gonna start with Hinterlands first. So from what I've been able to gather, playing Hinterlands and also looking at the README file for Hinterlands, is that this game takes place on some sort of environment that resembles Earth once again. This is also part of the reason why I like to consider this a sequel to the Grave Apologies and Syzygy double feature. This is another environment that is kind of Earth-like. And the general idea that I got from this game, playing it for a little while off-screen, is that this one seems to take place in some sort of medieval environment. The environment itself seems to be surrounded by gigantic castle walls that you cannot pass. There's also giant spires attached to these walls as well. It is kind of unfortunate that there's no possible way to scale those walls. And it seems like there's not really too much to do in this particular game. You're kind of just, exploring the countryside, I guess? If you could even call it that, or, like, exploring the mountain range, or the forest that has been guarded off by these giant castle walls. Like, I don't know if we're actually, like, within the castle walls, or if we're outside them. I can't really tell. There also seems to be another spire way off in the distance over a hill somewhere, but I was way too lazy to keep running over to it and see what was hiding over there. And also, this is another one of those Connor Sherlock games where the colors are just completely blown out. You know, the graphics look very artistic again, I guess you could say. I will be honest though, this one in particular doesn't really interest me all that much, or it didn't really grab my attention, but there is a reason why I would like to showcase this game first before going on to Sunken Citadel. I feel like covering Hinterlands first will provide you guys with some context as to what happens in Sunken Citadel, cause again, both games technically take place on the same map. But Sunken Citadel has a much more ominous tone to it, which I will go over in more detail later, but for now I would like to show you guys Hinterlands, so let's go and play this for a little while. Alright, welcome to the world of Hinterlands. So, the first thing you'll notice if I look over yonder, there's a forest over there. If I look back behind me, there's a massive freaking castle. Yeah, this is definitely one of those games where you get like a really neat sense of scale here. You get to see just how large these freaking castle walls are. Look at these spires. They are absolutely massive, and unfortunately, like I said before, there's no way to get past these walls, at least not that I know of. We do have the crystal again, with a really ugly looking texture once again. It actually kind of looks like what it did in Stepped Reckoner. Now, there is one thing that I would like to show you guys if I walk all the way over here. There is a gate, as you can see. The gate is closed, and as far as I know, there is no way to open this gate in Hinterlands. But I do want you to remember this gate for later, because we will be coming back to it. That's all I'm gonna say for now. Yes, it does have something to do with Sunken Citadel, in case you haven't already figured it out, but for now, let's just go around and explore. And unfortunately, I do need to mention, though, that this is one of those games that does kind of chug along for me. I think the main reason is because there's so many trees that are being rendered that the game kinda, yeah, it does kinda tank on my hardware, unfortunately. But the forest is not really the most interesting part of this particular game. The most interesting part is what you're gonna see once we get out of this heavily forested area, because this area does not last forever. It definitely reminds me of Argonne Swamp in a way, just given the fact that a lot of the, there was a lot of vegetation in that game as well, a lot of, like, densely forested areas too, with a lot of really alien-looking vegetation. Not so much with this game in particular, because this looks like, you know, actual normal vegetation. If you look very closely, you'll notice that the leaves are even swaying in the wind. We got a nice little breeze going on here. It does seem to run a lot better when I'm not looking directly at the trees, though. Just so many trees that are being rendered all at once that, yeah, unfortunately my laptop can't really handle it all too well. Thankfully, though, Sunken Citadel does run a lot better. Probably because Sunken Citadel actually takes place during the night instead of the day. And like I mentioned before, it is more or less the same environment, but again, there's something about that gate that I want you guys to keep in mind for later, because we are going to be coming back to that gate in Sunken Citadel. Something will have happened to that gate once we move over to the second game. I'm actually trying to remember what path I took when I played this off-screen, because I actually do not remember already. There's definitely another spire that I saw off in the distance. Yeah, you see that all the way over there? There's another spire over that way. Also, these are some really tall freaking trees over here. At least, I like the fact that there's some diversity in the types of trees in this game, at least. It's not just the same old boring birch tree over and over again. Yeah, and also you'll notice as well, if you look all the way off in the distance, that there does appear to be a bridge over there, but unfortunately the bridge is very elevated, like it's in a place where you can't actually get to it, because it's actually suspended pretty far above the surface, as you can see. It does appear to be connecting to another hill, though, and it does seem to be part of this gigantic castle complex, but unfortunately there doesn't seem to be a way to actually get up to it, because, yeah, the way that the physics work in this game, you basically cannot walk up hills, like, at all. At least you can't walk up hills that are, like, extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess extremely slanted. It kind of seems like you can actually go up this one pretty fine, but I don't believe it is possible to hike all the way up this hill, though, because I think eventually it'll become too steep. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, actually. It'll become too steep, and the game just straight up won't allow you to keep going up. Seems like there's actually another spire over that way, I noticed. Yeah, I don't know what those structures are in the distance either. You get a better view of the bridge over here. Like, look at this. Again, the sense of scale. And once again, I am also impressed at the draw distance in most of Connor Sherlock's games, because you get to see these giant looming structures all the way off in the distance. You just see their silhouettes. Again, one thing that I do feel Connor Sherlock is good at when designing games is that he's really good at giving you, like, a sense of scale. Like, showing you just how large these freaking environments are. He does it so well, I feel. I actually haven't gone over here, and I don't exactly know what that structure over there is, or if it's even possible to get to it. But I do believe if you go towards that bridge, you will actually just loop back around to the giant wall that you saw at the very start of the game. So you know what? I'm actually going to do something different. I'm going to go over here, because I haven't even been to this area. So what exactly is this? Okay, this looks treacherous, actually. Let me just be a little bit careful here. Oh yeah, it runs so much better here. Like, the game runs so much better, because there's barely any trees over this way. Oh, this is good, actually. This is really good. Yeah, this just seems to lead to another gigantic castle wall. But what exactly is that over there? I don't know what that giant structure is. Also, this is one of these really rare games in the Walking Sim a Month Club Volume 1 bundle, where you cannot actually zoom in. If you right-click in this game, it actually does nothing, except slow your character down a little bit. So, yeah, this is actually one of those games where you cannot zoom in to get a better view of the structures over in the distance. I'm not entirely sure why that feature was removed from this game in particular, and that feature doesn't exist in Sunken Citadel either. So I'm not entirely sure why exactly it was removed in this particular game. I do find that a little bit odd. It does seem like the only behavior that was carried over from that feature, like from that feature being in all of his other games, is the fact that it just slows your character down. Yeah, let me try going over this way, because I don't know what the frick this structure is over here, but it looks daunting, to say the least. So I want to go and investigate it. Also, these nice shadows that are being cast on the ground right here, which I believe are actually coming from these structures. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, what in the world is this? Giant gateways to hell, probably. I'm pretty sure I made that joke before. Yeah, let's go and investigate these structures over here, because I wouldn't be able to get to the top of that bridge anyway. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, these are just massive. They're just gigantic monoliths. And they appear to exist within the confines of the castle walls. Again, you can see the spires all the way over there in the distance. I don't exactly know what's going on with that geometry over there, but that geometry appears to be kinda bugged out, I think, because it kinda looks like it's being stretched out into oblivion. Yeah, I want to go over here, because this is honestly a lot more interesting than what I found when I was exploring this place off screen. God. It's like castle ruins, almost. That's what it looks like. Oh yeah, there's a castle wall right here that's been completely toppled. That, for whatever reason, I can't interact with, because there's an invisible wall blocking it. Okay, sure. Okay, wow, yeah, the invisible wall extends pretty far out, unless it's just the... Actually, wait, is it... No, it's definitely not the terrain that's stopping me. There is straight up an invisible wall that stretches out, like, 10 feet away from the actual tower itself. Okay, that's odd, but keep on going, because I would really like to see... Oh my god, this freaking structure right here. Yeah, I love how the sun illuminates the top of them as well. That's so freaking cool. Oh yeah, what in the world is going on over that way? Why does that look all freaking stretched out? That looks super weird. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, what in the world is this structure right here? Oh my god. This looks so cool, though. Looks like it's made out of bricks as well. Yeah, this is super interesting geometry right here. Arguably the most interesting kind of geometry that I found so far in this game. Yeah, what is going on over that way? That just looks unnatural. Kind of reminds me of the Farlands from Minecraft in a way. I mean, the README file for Hinterlands did say something about, this reality becoming unstable within, like, a few kilometers, or if you explore, like, a few kilometers outwards, which seems to be a pretty obvious reference to the fact that Connor Sherlock doesn't seem to add, like, hard boundaries to some of these maps, because in a lot of his games, there are some parts of the map where you can literally just jump off the edge and fall into an endless void, so even the README files seem to acknowledge that, which I think is kind of funny, and for the record, the README file for Hinterlands also functions as the README file for Sunken Citadel. Actually, I think I see another castle wall over that way. Yeah, what is over this way? I don't even know what is happening anymore, or where the hell I'm even going. Oh god, yeah, we're on a giant hill. Wait a second. What are those blocks over there? I just realized that there's some other, like, weird structures over this way, actually. I just realized. What exactly is that? Yeah, what in the world is that? I'm gonna go and investigate that in just a moment, because that just looks super odd. I don't know if that's like an actual bug, or if Connor Sherlock did that on purpose. Actually, you know what I just noticed as well? It seems like there's structures on top of that giant hill as well, that kind of look similar to these ones over here. But I don't know if they actually are, like, similar structures. Hang on a sec. What is this? This looks like freaking Stonehenge or something. Hang on. I want to go and investigate this here for just a minute. Yeah, that giant spire. What is this? What in God's name is this? Yeah. Actually, wait, I see another wall over there. So I don't understand. Is this supposed to, like, signify that the castle is still under development? Maybe that's what that means. Maybe that's what those bars are. Because I noticed that there also seems to be a similar looking structure over that way. Yeah, so what exactly is this? This just looks like Stonehenge. This looks like straight up Stonehenge, using the giant brick pillars as like a clock of some sort. Very ancient technology indeed. Right, well, there doesn't seem to be anything else to see over here, so let's go investigate whatever the hell this is over here. What are these giant bars that seem to be sticking out the side of that hill over there? I'm assuming this means that the castle is actually still under construction. Either that, or this is just a straight up bug that I guess Connor Sherlock never ended up fixing. I don't really know. It wouldn't be the first time I discovered a really weird structure that probably should not actually be there in one of his games, because there was also that one thing I discovered in Simulation Failure where it kind of just looked like a spaceship just floating in the air. even though I'm pretty sure it was like leftover geometry from, I'm guessing, an earlier build of the game that he just never ended up like removing. I don't really know. Oh god, okay, yeah, this, oh god, yeah, this is actually a huge hill. What in the world? Okay, I think we're actually about to just straight up like jump down this hill. Oh god, I didn't realize how high up we were. It is kind of weird though, because it definitely seems like some of these hills have like little valleys in them. I imagine like little rivers that are supposed to be running through them, but it kind of seems like they've all dried up. Yeah, just like unnaturally massive wall right here, comprised out of bricks. We're gonna go and investigate something else that I think looks rather unnatural as well. Here we go. Okay, wow, it's actually not stopping me from going up the hill. Okay. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see it from all the way down there. I mean, again, there's not really... Oh, god. Okay, here we go. We slide down the hill. Or never mind, we're gonna walk down it, because who cares about gravity? Sure, that works too, I guess. I mean, another theory I have is that those bars could also represent reality distorting and becoming more unstable, like the README file does explain. So I don't know, maybe that's like a bug with the simulation. Who knows? I don't really know. Actually, I might be able to get up this hill. There's a possibility that I might be able to. Okay, well, let's try it out here. I mean, other than that, guys, there's not really anything more that I have to say about Hinterlands. This is honestly not all that interesting in my opinion. Sunken Citadel is definitely the much more interesting game. And like I mentioned before, Sunken Citadel is technically a companion game to Hinterlands because it takes place on the same map. Oh yeah, see, it's just straight up not allowing me to go up this hill. Actually, if I go to like hello? Is this actually too steep? Oh, wait a second, I can kind of jump up it. Which is kind of working? Hello? Can I... Oh god. Okay, hopefully I don't get like stuck completely here because, okay, it seems like jumping up kind of works, but I'm also getting stuck at certain points as well, because I think the slopes are, like, too steep here. I don't think it's because there's an invisible wall blocking me off. I think it's just because the way that the physics work in this game, it's just straight up not letting me get up there. Frick. Oh my god, why in the world is this so finicky? Please? Am I just straight up stuck? No, I can still go down, but I don't want to go down. I want to keep going up. Hello? Please? Can you let me go up still? What if I go to the left? Okay, here we go. This is kind of working. Never mind, it's not working at all. Hold on, go further to the left. Please? Okay, it's not even letting me go left anymore. Alright, well I don't really want to be spending the rest of this video fighting with this game's incredibly wonky hit detection, so I think other than that, that's really all I gotta say about Hinterlands in particular, because like I said, there really isn't a whole lot to see in this particular game. You're kind of just exploring, yeah, the confines of these castle walls, basically, and getting stuck on top of hills. I mean, it very much seems like I should be able to get up this hill just fine, but it's like, there's parts that are apparently too steep and I just cannot move at all. Jumping repeatedly only works to a certain degree. Yeah, there's not really anything more that I have to say about this one. There are definitely some really weird structures that I came across, and I am glad that I decided to, not take the exact same path that I did when I played this off screen and actually go exploring. And I found some slightly weird stuff. Apparently I found Stonehenge here. I don't know how they managed to get it over here. Yeah, and I mean, there is that bridge over that way, but again, the bridge is not really a point of interest here, because you can't even get on top of the bridge anyway, because there's no way for you to scale those giant slopes. Because it seems like you don't slide off the slopes, but if they are too steep, the game will just straight up prevent you from going up them. Yeah, you can't even jump up them, and you can't even freaking move at all. So the only place you can go is down, which is a little unfortunate. Yeah. And I mean, your running speed in this game is also rather slow, in my opinion, so yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna leave things for now, because I would like to show you guys the more interesting game in this collection, essentially the companion piece to Hinterlands, or like the sister game, essentially. So, let's just go to Sunken Citadel then. Right, let's see if we can do something about that gate over there. Let me just do a little, transition right here. Well, would you look at that, it's nighttime now, and I also have a torch all of a sudden. Yeah, so welcome to Sunken Citadel. So as you can see, it actually is the same location as Hinterlands, the exact same castle walls. Now I imagine there's probably some things that have changed with the environment over that way, but I'm a lot more interested in showing you guys what's beyond this gate over here. As you can see, the gate is now open. Also, we've apparently converted the crystal into a tent of some sort. Can we actually get into this? Oh my god. Okay, yeah, so something I need to mention here is that you can actually jump a lot higher in Sunken Citadel for some reason. You cannot burn yourself in this fire, unfortunately. So yeah, this is actually one of the more interesting games in the Walking Sim a Month Club Volume 1 bundle, because this is, I believe, the only game in the bundle where you're actually walking around with an item. And if you left-click, you can actually swing your torch. And when I first played this, I was a little bit confused by this mechanic, because I thought this meant that, am I gonna have to actually, like battle some enemies in this game? But that's the thing, though. I don't believe there are any actual, like, monsters that you can attack or that come to attack you in this game. And I mean, that's not really something that Connor Sherlock is known for doing anyway. The majority of his games are all about the atmosphere. They're not really about, you know, giving you monsters to combat or anything. And even some of his creepier games are also a lot more about the atmosphere rather than just cheap jump scares. And that's definitely the vibe that I get from Sunken Citadel in particular, because this Sunken Citadel is definitely one of the creepier games in this collection. I would say it's actually the creepiest. And what exactly makes this particular game so freaking creepy? Well, allow me to bring you down this very dark, narrow corridor with me, and I'll show you why exactly this game is creepy as all hell. I really do like this fire effect on the torch, however. Yeah, so this game is all about navigating a deep, dark, cavernous corridor, basically like a catacombs. However, I do want to mention that I have actually played this game a little bit off screen as well, and I can already tell you that this game does not actually have jump scares, not that I know of. It's just really dark and creepy, and I mean, that is one of the things that I do like about this particular game, because it seems like, again, this one is relying a lot more on atmosphere rather than just cheap jump scares, like I said before, which I definitely appreciate. So, yeah, this is kind of like a maze, almost, I will admit. Like, these catacombs are definitely structured like a maze. There's gonna be some sort of passageway that comes up right around here, where I'm gonna have to make a decision. I'm gonna have to go either left, right, or keep going straight. That decision is coming up right now, actually. I want to go to the left, just for a moment, because there was something kind of neat that I discovered. Well, I don't know, your opinion on this might vary, but I thought it was kind of neat. So if I go over this way, actually, is it over this way? I don't even remember now. Oh yeah, so if I go over this way, and I go left again, check this out. There's a big corridor right here, and it contains another one of these crystals, and it's actually glowing. It's emitting its own light. There we go. Kind of like lost treasure right here. Or like buried treasure, almost. Well, I don't know if buried treasure is the correct term, because it's not exactly buried, but I mean, it is still technically underground. It's been hidden away from all civilization, and I can hit it a few times. It does absolutely nothing, though. So that's kind of neat. You can't really do anything else with that giant crystal, though, because there's no other way for you to interact with it. So, in that case, I don't remember where I should be going, actually, but I'm just gonna keep going to the right. Right seems like the right direction. And I mean, if I do come across some stuff that I've never actually seen in this game before, that would definitely be a bonus. Because I would like to try and discover some stuff that I actually haven't seen yet in this particular game. Giant pit down here, which I do definitely recall. Yeah, I am actually gonna go down it. There is no fall damage in this game. I'm not gonna die if this ends up happening. There we go. Very nice. Now we're inside this giant room right over here. Now there is actually something that is hidden in this room that I would like to try and find if I possibly can. There is definitely something here, and hopefully I don't end up going past it. I think it's, is it somewhere over this way? I don't exactly know. This one definitely runs a lot better than Hinterlands, just because it's so dark anyway, that the game doesn't really have to render that many objects on the screen. I will say that this game is definitely creepy, though. Like, exploring these catacombs is surprisingly tense, even though you know for a fact that there's nothing that's gonna come and get you. It's just like the way this is designed and the fact that everything is like so dark and dimly lit. You only have a torch as your only weapon. I mean, you can use it as a weapon, but I don't think there's any actual reason for this right here, for this mechanic whatsoever, because I don't think it's actually possible to kill anything in this game, but there is definitely something over here, but I can't seem to find it though. I believe there's actually another crystal over here somewhere, but it's like it's been broken into like 3 different pieces or whatever, and it's also surrounded by this very weird, like, coil-like mechanism of some sort. I don't really know how to describe it. It's here somewhere, or is it in this particular room? I actually don't recall now. Oh god, I don't... Oh, no, it's over here. It's over here. Because it's actually... You can see it glowing off in the distance. Again, this is one of those games where you cannot zoom in for some reason. Even though you could do that in all of Connor Sherlock's other games. I don't know why he removed that feature. But you go over here, you walk all the way over this way, or run, because you can still run in this game as well. Look at this. Yeah, it's the crystal again, except it's been broken up, and it's surrounded by whatever the hell this thing is. Yeah, you can't actually break this open, for the record. Yeah, you can't get in. You can just, inspect it, still emitting its own light. I have no idea what it's supposed to mean, but it's a thing that you can investigate and just kinda like, yeah, kinda scratch your head at, wondering what the exact purpose of it is. Some sort of civilization was definitely here before us, some sort of ancient civilization. Did they also know about the crystals that's used to jump between different dimensions? Did the Walking Sim a Month Club know about this too? Who even knows at this point? Right, so I would like to go to the next area if I can possibly find it. Is it down over this way? I don't know, but we're gonna go down over this way anyway. I don't know, regardless of what we end up discovering, we're gonna go down here. We're gonna go down here because I want to. For no reason other than I just want to. Yeah, here we go. This is the exit right over here. I don't exactly know where this takes me though, but we're just gonna follow it regardless. This may lead me to another pit, because there is actually another pit here somewhere. I don't know if it's down over that way. It might not be. I think it's actually down over this way. I think I need to keep going straight, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, see, this is... Because I know for a fact that nothing's gonna pop out at me, but it's still really, like, disconcerting. Okay, yeah, so there is this really interesting room right here, where, once again, you see another crystal over that way, and once again, another crystal that's been fragmented and protected by that coil thing, or whatever the heck it's supposed to be. Some sort of defense mechanism, I have no idea. But then you keep going down. Yeah, like I said, these are basically like mazes. Yeah, so this section right here is blocked off entirely. I don't remember if I kept going straight or not. But I mean, we can still keep going straight if we want. I probably won't be playing this again to like see where the other branching paths take me, because I'm not personally interested. Okay, actually, I think I'm starting to remember. I'm pretty sure this is how we get to at least one of them. I do believe this is actually leading us to one of the paths that leads us to either the fragmented crystal or the one that's perfectly intact. Yeah, because there is a way to get out. Like go beyond those bars that are holding us in. And I do believe we are actually about to enter a different part of the room. Like, we're basically looping around to the same room, but we're gonna come out a different side. You're about to see it here. Hopefully. Oh god, maybe you're not actually about to see it. What am I doing? Where am I going? Where even am I in time and space now? Oh god, why is this going down? Hang on, is this an area that I haven't seen before? Or is this actually... I don't know, we're going down deeper. Oh god, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. Whatever, just keep sprinting. Keep sprinting. I don't know what's happening anymore. Fine, frick it. Let's just go. Let's just friggin' go. There's a lot of walls. Oh. This is just blocked off entirely. Okay, well, I definitely went the wrong way. Okay, you know what? I am starting to remember now. I think I was actually supposed to turn at one point. I think I ended up missing the turn. Was I supposed to turn right or left, though? I don't remember. And was it at this intersection here? This junction? I don't freaking recall, dude. Whatever, I'm going back. I'm going back, because at least I know that nothing's gonna pop out at me. It's just like a maze that you can easily get lost in. Was it going right? Was I supposed to go right? God, I don't even remember. Whatever, where is this gonna take me? Okay, this is... I thought this was another dead end for a second. Okay, never mind, never mind. We're good. We're good for now. Oh, God. I don't know where I'm going. Oh, this is another dead end. Frick's sake. Okay, fine. Was it left? Again, I don't even know if it was at this part of the maze here. I don't even know, but regardless of where we're going, we're gonna keep going left. Oh God. Okay, now it just looks like I came from it looks like I came straight from like the other room. Oh no. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm just gonna get completely lost now. I definitely remembered where I came from last time, and now I no longer do. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Here we go then. This is just gonna be 5 hours of me just getting lost in a giant freaking maze. Oh, perfect. This is gonna be a real treat. This is gonna be an absolute treat. I mean, there is definitely... I know for a fact there is a way to go outside those bars that I was talking about before, like that room that we were in previously. And I really don't want to be spending too much time in here, because the longer that I'm gonna be spending in these freaking corridors, the more creeped out I'm gonna become. Because I really don't like these, like, very claustrophobic corridors that are so dimly lit. Ugh, I don't know about you guys, but I just don't like this stuff. Oh, actually, we're back at the bars. Okay, wait. We need to go this way, I think. Are we supposed to go this way? I don't freaking remember, man. This might be correct. Okay, don't fail me. Don't fail me. Actually, wait. Yeah, so when these bars suddenly appear on the ceiling right there, okay, that actually means I am going the right way. I do remember those bars, actually. I'm definitely going the right way. Yeah. There's another pit down there, which I am gonna jump down in just a second, but I just want to show you that we are, in fact, on the other side. I don't exactly know how to get to the one that's not fragmented, or the one that's, like, perfectly intact. Yeah, here's another one of these. You got even more fragments this time. Just kind of floating aimlessly in the air. Still have no clue what it means, though. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that there is to see in this entire room, so... yeah, there you have it. You can actually go and explore this if you want. But what I would like to do now is go down this pit right here that actually has a slope on it. I want to go down here. There's some said fighting textures. I don't know what exactly that's all about. Jump down this very gigantic pit right here. And check this out. Yeah. So, it turns out, there's an entire castle hidden underneath another castle. Yeah, look at this, dude. Also, I love how, like, the music suddenly kicks in. Like, there's a completely different track that suddenly kicks in whenever you finally discover this area. But yeah, look at this, man. I don't want to fall off. Or, like, accidentally fall off. What in the world did I just bump into? But yeah, I love the way that this is lit as well. But yeah, you can see it. There's all these, like, really weird monolithic structures. There's a giant bridge here. There's an entire castle hidden underneath another castle, like I mentioned before. It's like an underground castle, or in other words, we found the Sunken Citadel. So we're gonna try and run across this bridge over here. Navigating these giant structures is admittedly pretty treacherous, because they're really... It does kind of feel like a straight-up platforming section, where you're trying to jump between all the bridges here, and all the different buildings as well. But, once again, there isn't really a whole lot to see here, but yeah, just marvel at this site over here. See how close I can get to this without actually falling off. Yeah, there's like straight up spires, more bridges. Yeah, it stretches all the way underground, it turns out. An entire castle just hidden away underground, probably put there by who even knows? Some sort of long-lost civilization. Again, there is no fall damage here, so I will actually survive this fall. I don't believe there is any way to get to that bridge, because I think the only way we'd be able to get over there is by, probably going the other way and then jumping off the bridge that we landed on when we first got in here. But yeah, there's just a lot of different sights to see. Just a lot of, like, giant structures to look at. And, I mean, other than that, there's not really anything else to see here, honestly. I mean, we can try and jump all the way to that bridge over there, but it's gonna be all for naught because we just end up falling on this giant, structure right here. But once again, it's fine, because there's no fall damage. My torch does take a while to catch up, though. So, I mean, there are these platforms that we could also jump across. These giant, like, these giant cylinders. Giant cylinders made out of what appears to be bricks as well. Yeah, this is a weird-looking, like, shadow right here, like, lighting effect. It's literally just a circle. I don't even know what I bumped into there. Didn't even look like there was anything there. You can definitely use these cylindrical structures as platforms. It seems like they're all connected to each other as well by what is essentially a bridge. God, that also just looks like a gigantic wall as well. More structures, more gigantic monolithic structures. I mean, look how large this freaking thing is. It extends all the way up to the ceiling of this giant-ass cave. Again, the sense of scale here is absolutely unmatched by anything else. Like, you feel so tiny compared to everything else that's been built here, like these giant brutalist structures almost. They're so impossibly large. I mean, look at this. This is inside a giant cave. This is a little bit treacherous right here because you can barely see anything because they're not... yeah, these structures right here are not actually lit up. I don't even know what exactly is lighting these structures up in the first place. I don't think the sun is shining down here. I don't believe it is anyway. Or maybe it is, I have no idea. Is that like a giant hole in the ceiling up there? Is there actually light shining down into this cave? I can't tell. I don't even know where the hell it is I'm going, but I guess I am just falling down all the way to the bottom floor. Yes, and I do survive that, thankfully. Yeah, and when you're all the way at the bottom, then you really get a sense of just how large these freaking structures are. Like, kind of feels like they were put there by a much higher intelligence. It really doesn't feel like they were constructed by humans. That cannot be possible. And I mean, other than that, I do believe that this is effectively where the map ends, because I don't think it extends further out beyond this. Yeah, I definitely like Sunken Citadel a lot, because I do feel like there is a real sense of discovery that you definitely get with this game in particular. Like, you go into these giant narrow passageways, or these catacombs essentially, and if you choose to go deep enough, or if you look hard enough, and you don't, you know, if you don't completely rage quit from the very, maze-like structure that this game has, or at least the underground parts of this game contain, you know, if you just keep searching hard enough and you take all of the correct routes, then you will discover something quite magical indeed. You discover an entire underground castle. And I'm assuming that's where the name Sunken Citadel comes from, because, yeah, it's basically, I mean, it's not exactly sunken, because it's not underwater, but it is underground, so I guess it is still sunken in a way. But yeah, man, it's just... This one in particular is really freaking cool. It's really fascinating. It is also interesting how it's like the only game in this entire bundle that has you walking around with an item in hand, in this case a torch, that for whatever reason you can swing around, even though it doesn't seem like that has any purpose whatsoever, like no use for it. You can knock on the walls, but I mean, it doesn't seem to do anything. There doesn't seem to be any way to extinguish your torch either. And then once you come down to this underground castle, it doesn't seem like there's anything else to see, because I mean, once again, you have even more corridors right here. But again, I don't believe these corridors lead to anywhere. Not that I know of, anyway. And I mean, I could always go and explore the surface in this game as well, just to see if there's anything hidden up there. Because like I said before, Sunken Citadel does technically take place in the same environment as Hinterlands. And because this takes place at a different time of day, there is a possibility that the overworld, or the surface, might have been altered slightly. Maybe there's some new, like, artifacts for me to discover. I don't know. Maybe something changed with that Stonehenge monument, possibly. Maybe something got altered with that. I have no idea. But I don't think I'm really interested in doing that for now. I think I actually am going to leave the video here, because that's all I really wanted to show you guys in regards to Sunken Citadel in particular. I mostly just wanted to show you the underground part of this game, because I thought it was a lot more interesting, a lot more fascinating than the overworld. I'm assuming that this could potentially be like Syzygy, where the overworld might be slightly different, or there may be like certain parts of the overworld that are now blocked off. I have no idea though, And I mean, what I could always do is that after I finish recording this video, I could reset the game and just explore the overworld for a little while to see if there's anything that's been changed, aside from, you know, the time of day, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. If there is anything weird that I end up discovering, then maybe I will throw it into this video very quickly, just to show you guys what exactly I discovered, but I think other than that, I am pretty much done with this video, so there you go. That's Hinterlands and Sunken Citadel. I think it's fairly obvious which game is my most favorite out of the two games that I decided to show off today. Sunken Citadel is definitely my most favorite. I love the foreboding atmosphere, the sense of discovery. I don't completely know how I feel about the really blown out colors though, because I kind of feel like just given the way that this game is designed, or like the art style is designed, I kind of feel like it may not play all too nicely with YouTube's bitrate, but I could be wrong. This one definitely surprised me once again, much like Syzygy, although I wouldn't say that Sunken Citadel is now my most favorite game in this particular bundle. I do still feel like Syzygy is my most favorite. I don't feel like anything else in this bundle will really be able to top that game off in particular, but I mean, Sunken Citadel got pretty close. I mean, Hinterlands has its own redeeming qualities as well, what with the giant bridges and spires that you can see off in the distance, those weird structures on that hill that I explored before that appeared to be, decrepit, and some parts of that structure have just completely collapsed and are lying on the ground, and for some reason I can't seem to go anywhere near them because there seems to be some sort of force field preventing me from doing that. That just seems a little bit weird to me, and there's also another structure that I found that kind of resembles Stonehenge, and some other strange terrain features that I saw off in the distance that I wasn't actually able to reach. So I would say that both of these games have their own redeeming qualities, but when it comes down to it, I do feel like Sunken Citadel is the more interesting one out of the bunch. For instance, the fact that the gate is actually open in this game, so you can actually go inside the castle and explore, like, the, maybe not the interior necessarily, but you can explore underground, which is really cool. And if you explore hard enough, you end up finding an underground castle, which is pretty neat. Also, it seems like Windows is trying to completely ruin this video again because it's trying to install updates. Perfect. Alright, well, I'm gonna make this quick then, because my CPU is going absolutely wild once again. Oh my actual god. Okay, you know what? Frick this. You know what? I just... Why do I even use Windows? Like, I've been asking myself that a lot more often in recent times, but whatever. This is the same thing that it did at the end of my Static Cling video. Frick. Why can't you just give me a damn break, Windows? My god. This is not an appropriate time to be installing updates. I'm trying to end the frigging video here. But yeah, again, I really like Sunken Citadel. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Sunken Citadel's freaking cool, man. If there is one particular game from the first Walking Sim a Month Club bundle that Connor Sherlock has released that I think you should definitely try out first, it would absolutely be this one. Of course, there's probably a lot of things for me to discover on the overworld as well, or the surface, and again, when I finish recording this video, I am actually going to reset the game and just look around on the surface to see if anything has changed. And if I do end up discovering anything strange on the surface, then I will add it here at the very end of the video, so there's a chance that the video may not actually end just yet, like after I give my whole outro and everything. But with that being said, if you do want to purchase the Walking Sim a Month Club Volume 1 bundle, link is in the description. It's available on itch.io. I don't think the Steam version is out yet still, but if you want to go and wishlist the Steam version, you can go and do that. There's a link in the description that links you directly to the Steam page, or that will bring you to the Steam page. And for the record, the version of the Walking Sim a Month Club that's coming out on Steam soon is the Complete Edition, which includes all of the games from the first bundle and the second and third bundles. And as I also mentioned at the start of the video, there aren't that many other games that I would like to cover from this particular bundle. As a matter of fact, there's only really one other game that I would like to show you guys from this bundle, which is Prelude to Irrelevance, which I keep talking about in these videos, but I never ended up playing yet. That will most likely be the next video, and also possibly the last video that I showcase from the Walking Sim a Month Club Volume 1 bundle. It'll be the last one that I highlight from the first bundle at least. There's also a possibility that I may want to show you guys some of the some of the games from the second and third bundles as well. I don't know if I am actually going to do that, though. As much as I enjoyed playing some of the games from this bundle over the past year and a half, I don't want my entire channel to become dedicated to these particular games, so I think Sunken Citadel will probably be the last game from this bundle that I play for a while. I mean, I am gonna play Prelude to Irrelevance eventually, and Prelude to Irrelevance will most likely be the last game that I showcase from the first bundle at least. But I think I am gonna give you guys a much longer break from all of the games in this particular bundle before I get started with Prelude to Irrelevance. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is that my playthrough of the Walking Sim a Month Club Volume 1 bundle is starting to come to an end. It will most likely come to an end when I upload Prelude to Irrelevance. I don't know when exactly that's going to happen though. For now though, the links are in the description if you want to try out this bundle for yourself. It's only $5 on itch.io and you get a total of about 16 games. I think that's the exact number. I don't think it's actually 20, I think it's a little bit less than that, because I think I said in previous videos that it was around 20, but that's not exactly true. I think it's a little bit less than 20. I think the exact number is 16. So there you go. Sunken Citadel is definitely one of the highlights from this bundle for absolute sure. Anyway, thanks as always for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video I make. Later.